y'all. You know what it is. It's them kids and wives and 925s, but we are still married to the games. Episode 261. Yes, sir. It's your boy Gabe Patillo with Tim Router, Ed Placencia, and Chris McCracken, of course. And as always, we are talking games and life and games. Thank you guys so much for being here. Oh, yeah. And looking over at the Twitter this morning, it's hashtag Video Games Day.
Ooh.
Is it really?
Hashtag, can you hear me hitting my fingers together?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
JT.
Video Games Day.
Nice.
Every day is hashtag Video Games Day.
Seriously.
Today is National Video Games Day.
Oh, I love the sound effects.
Well played, sir.
So happy Video Games Day to you guys. And I have to say thank you as well. We're recording early this week and probably next week because I have these weird Wednesday shows.
Really?
I usually never have a Wednesday show.
Ever.
Right. We usually leave on Wednesdays. That's why we always started the podcast. Oh, fun fact. The podcast Married to the Games was originally recorded on Tuesdays.
Really?
And then we moved it to Wednesdays.
You're right. It was.
What?
And then it stayed Wednesdays for until now.
It was Tuesday
Wow.
evenings, wasn't it?
Something like that. It was Tuesday evenings.
At the start, it was Tuesday evenings, and then we all decided to be ridiculous and say, hey, let's do this at 5:30 in the morning.
Move it to Wednesday morning. Exactly. So anyway, thank you to my fellow co-hosts for
Of course, man.
switching around for a brother because we have a weird show Wednesday this week and then Wednesday next week, and that's next week is when I'll be in Dallas. This week I'm going to Kansas.
What? Aw, poor thing.
The Big Apple.
I don't know where exactly in Kansas.
Nobody knows where in Kansas. That's why it's so provocative. I'm going.
Oh, sorry, Wichita, Kansas.
Oh, there you go. Okay, cool.
That's a city.
Yeah, that's a
I've
big
heard
That's a
that one.
city. No, Wichita's
I don't know
supposed to be
what
cool.
we're there for, but I don't know if it's a
Is it an
if it's a
event?
state fair or if it's like a
right.
festival. I'm guessing it's a state fair because it's by itself.
Okay, right.
Before we kick off this next song, Billy Bob's got the biggest pumpkin weighing in at
Oh, it is the
a new
fair.
state record.
Farmer Joe
Exactly.
got the biggest pig.
Oh man. So thank you guys and happy National Video Games Day.
Yeah.
So,
Good deal.
I can't believe it.
Gabe,
Shoot.
I'm flipping the script here. I want to go to you first because I'm curious how your weekend went with Hurricane Irma, because you had to go down to Night of Joy, didn't you? And did that still happen?
Oh, that's right.
I
We
heard
went down to Orlando.
I didn't hear anything, and I was like, I thought they canceled it, but I didn't know. And then I saw a Facebook post from Madge saying that he was down there, and I'm like, oh, what's going on? And I almost reached out to you, but I know you were busy. So you start this week. How was your weekend?
It was good. And it is really us talking quick. So like I said last week, our trip ended up being canceled, as in taking the family
Right.
to Disney.
Yeah.
And then Night of Joy was canceled Saturday night, but we played Friday night.
Oh, sweet.
Oh,
Okay,
nice.
good.
So we did go down there, and it was actually beautiful weather.
Figures.
When we got there, right? And I'm kicking myself for not going to the park because of the evacuation. I guess the park was empty, so everybody who went to Disney World on Friday was like la 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 la, like skipping around from ride to ride with no
Going
line.
on Space Mountain 40 times and what have you.
And
Yeah.
but I didn't do that. I stayed in and we hung out at the Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Is the hotel they put us up in, and we performed at the ESPN Wide World of Sports area. So that was fun.
So you
did get to see Mickey and them. Mickey and the crew got some pictures
Oh, nice.
to send back to the kids that said "nanny nanny boo boo."
Nice.
I'm meeting Mickey and you're at home.
So they didn't they didn't do Night of Joy at the actual Magic Kingdom like they normally do?
No, they have moved it. And me and Toby are suspecting, and maybe our historian will let us know, I think they're not going to do Night of Joy anymore.
Really?
Really?
I think it's over.
Why
It's
is
been a
that?
good run.
Huh.
What made you think that? What
Yeah,
were the
Well,
clues?
number one, they moved it out of the park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the first year too.
This is the second year.
Oh, second. Ooh. Oh, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't know last year.
Number two, we don't suspect they like doing it anymore. And number three, because of the hurricane, this year was just a huge pain.
Yeah.
And so we kind of all went on stage like, "Hey man, it's great doing Night of Joy with you, man.
Yeah.
Hey, good game. It's been real. Good season."
What's up, Universal?
Yeah. Seriously.
Exactly.
I don't know,
They're
man.
about to have
If Universal stays with Rock the Universe, those two just keep going at it. They're like,
I don't know if they don't. I don't know if Disney cares.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
true. It's true.
And he's like, "Oh yeah, but then again, we are Disney World."
Yeah,
Right.
It's true. It's
So
all about the money, man. If it brings money in, though, they'll keep doing it.
I know. So
That's
you
it.
know,
That's interesting. We'll have to see next year if that actually happens.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I want them to keep doing it selfishly because I really love to go and I really love
I
being
think-
able to take my family and all that.
Sure.
I think
yeah.
it's a great family event anyway. So why wouldn't they do it?
Yeah, I agree.
How long
But-
have y'all been doing it again?
Well, this is what's crazy for those that don't know, my history with Toby Mac starts when I was really, really young. So he was in a group beforehand called DC Talk, and in the summer of '92, they decided like that was like the summer, or going into those years was like the summer like Crisscross and all them were big.
Yeah.
And so I think Toby had the idea of like, man, we should take some kid dancers out. I think that would be fun. And
Right.
I was one of those kids. And
So
so
cool.
at 10 years old, I was out on the road with DC Talk traveling around. So my first time to do Night of Joy with Toby was in 92. So he's
Wow.
been doing it from at least since then. That was my first time when we performed in front of the castle.
Wow.
And so, for me being 35 now, this was my 15th year
Wow.
doing,
That's
doing Night of
crazy.
Joy. But it's been around, 25th
25th year. Yeah, I was gonna say, dude.
25th year doing it,
man.
especially with Toby. So, but it's its 35th year in as a thing. So they were celebrating 35 years this year.
Yeah,
This year
Jeez.
being my
Wow.
25th year.
That's amazing, man. I didn't realize it's been going on for that long. Yeah, they'll probably cancel
know,
it now
yeah.
because they just canceled the Main Street Electrical Parade is gone now. So like all of our treasured like long term things are all just gonna
I know.
go by the
Right.
wayside. Yeah, so
The electrical parade is gone.
yeah, they no longer have it. I think they're preparing for something bigger and better. But man, that's
the Avatar
oh gosh,
spectacular.
yeah, right.
The Moana shells walking around.
Exactly, glowing Moana shells at night. No, yeah, they. I think back in. Oh man,
Are you saying you don't like Moana, Ed?
I do like Moana, but it would be very Disney of them to scrap what they've done for years for the
for the
current
newest
new
thing? That is exactly. That is very Disney. Yes, well done.
Totally agree.
Yeah, it's
No
that's
longer the
exactly-
Tower of Terror. It's the, what is it, Guardians of the Galaxy something or
Yes.
other.
Which it is in
Right.
Disneyland. That's
Yeah,
exactly
it is
right.
at
Yeah,
Disney
they
World
switched
too, I
it, and
believe.
that will probably change over to Disney World as well. They'll probably do the exact same thing.
It's so funny that they do stuff like that, but it takes Ariel like 20 years to get a ride.
Exactly.
I know, right?
Exactly.
Doesn't make any sense.
Which little fun thing about that Guardians of the Galaxy thing. So our friends from Oklahoma that they travel all over the United States every summer because their dad's a teacher and their mom works for the church, and so they just travel every summer. And they went out to Disneyland, and their kid they are not scary ride people kind of stuff. They're kids or them really. And they rode the Guardian of the Galaxy not knowing it was really the Tower of Terror.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
They were in
Janice
for a
and
surprise.
Steve and then the Crofts. Oh my gosh, they took the kids on, and the kids were like death stares the rest of the time. Like, we don't trust you.
That's amazing.
They didn't know till like halfway through, and they're like, and then when you get to that part where it opens and you're just seeing out, they're like,
They're like, Mom and Dad, what did you do?
Yeah, apparently they came up on the ride like from the back way, not the front, because from the front you can not only see it, but you can hear all the people screaming and everything. But from the back way, you don't notice it. I guess I've never been to Disneyland, and they just got on the ride. Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy!
That's so funny.
So funny. I love that.
It was a hilarious
That
story.
is awesome.
So what was you had a decent crowd though, right? I mean, everything was good. Like
No, nobody was there.
wow, yikes.
Like that was the other thing. Like people were evacuating, and so like you look out in the crowd and it's just empty. I think Matt Marr was there and he took a picture. So they have 2 stages going on, and then he took a picture of the inside stage while somebody was playing. And like in the evening, there was, I think we counted 25 people in the picture in the arena.
Ooh.
Wow.
So
Like
it was a dress
nobody
rehearsal.
was there.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So do you guys get to clown around a little bit more when you know that there's not a huge crowd? I'm
we
just.
probably should have.
You should have, man. You should have handed
but
that up.
the stage was so wet. We're more trying to stand upright.
yeah.
And so, because it's still Florida, so it still rained a little bit during the day.
Yeah.
Right.
But it just wasn't nothing in comparison to what they were about to get. But like, it was so slippery on stage that we were like, just don't fall, don't fall.
Wow.
Oh God, don't fall. So try not to have a back spasm.
Yeah, that
kept
would be
me from
nice.
joking around.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. All right. Well, cool.
Yeah.
It was a good
we'll
run,
see what
Gabe. Well
happens.
done, sir.
Yeah, it was a good one. Yeah,
I know, right?
appreciate
It
it.
was a heck of a run.
It really
Yeah.
is.
Eddie
Years,
Amara,
jeez.
I hope you enjoyed going because we're never going again. Unless we sell Milo.
Right. There you go.
So
So are you rescheduling
Yeah.
then your trip with the
with the family, yeah, we're trying to because we get comps. We get comp tickets that last a year.
Oh, good. Cool. All right.
So we'll try to
That's
make
pretty
it back
cool.
down
Nice.
there. That is cool. It's just expensive
Yes, it is.
to get down there and
Right.
stay anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to
dude,
hit router up.
No, I would say like my advice to you is drive, but 3 kids driving down for 9 hours could be
Dude.
deadly. I mean,
That does not sound worth it.
I know, but honestly, it so is. Like now, granted, I'm a party.
Because we have to get down there and rent a car anyway
Not if you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Drive down there and you got to rent nothing.
that's
to get everybody around.
but see, that's the thing. Like
And
I was
car
looking,
seats.
Yeah, I was looking at the cost of everything, and dude, it is so much cheaper just to drive down. And you can do it in 2 days. It's an easy drive.
What if I drive down and fly them jokers?
You could do that, and Jenny would get off the plane and punch you in the face.
Exactly. Happy to play with all these kids.
But yeah, man, it was so liberating having our own car. We just parked it, and that was it. It was perfect, and we saved about $1,500 in flights, and probably another
Right.
$300 to $400 in rental car.
Here's the problem: we couldn't get our money back for our flights,
yeah,
so we've got the money already
yeah.
spent.
You're already in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm already in there. Like
You
swimwear,
got it.
so.
You got it. You got it. It's all good.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Maybe I'll go by myself.
Yeah. Okay. Again, tried passing that by the
If you've
missus
already
and
got
see
the
what
other
happens.
tickets, I mean, you can invite me.
Exactly.
There you
Just
go,
be a
see.
McCracken.
Gabe, you and I
adult
can drive
Disney.
down, and then Jenny can fly down with the kids.
Or we just do episode 300 at Disney World, and I've got tickets for all 4 of us.
There you go. Done.
There we go.
There you go.
Okay, it's decided.
Decided. Episode 300.
That's what we're doing.
Episode 300 Disney World.
As far as anything else, gaming wise, obviously been trying to play that Destiny 2.
Nice. How's
Live
it
that
going?
Destiny 2 life. I think it's going great. It's not going as good as it is with Chris
Oh
and
no.
them, but it's going good.
Chris is already the Destiny 2 master, I'm sure.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I wouldn't say all that.
Explain.
I would.
explaining things to me. And obviously, yesterday was September 11th.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
So that's a day to remember the heroes and the first responders in New York and Pennsylvania and in Washington.
Yes, sir.
So thank you guys. I'm glad to, I hate to relive terrible moments in our past, but remembering the heroes is something that I'm glad that people kind
Yeah.
of point towards.
Always, yeah.
Definitely.
And through Harvey and through Irma, we've had a lot of heroes.
Yes.
Oh,
So
everyday
they deserve to
heroes.
be-
Yep, amazing.
Yeah, deserve to be lifted up and noticed. So we see y'all, man. We see you. Thank you for everything you've done, and continue to do. It's crazy seeing like the people from Harvey go to Irma.
Oh yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, here we go, and you're like,
Yeah.
dang,
we
some
go
of these jokers
again.
are the same guys.
Yep.
Yeah,
Hook up
Being
the boat
like,
and move on over there. Keep it going.
Exactly. Isn't that crazy? It's awesome.
Yeah.
So-
What a hurricane season it's been too. My Lord. I mean, it's
I
just
know.
back to back to back.
I mean, it's funny because you always call it hurricane season, but don't see that many hurricanes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get
And
one
then-
that might like do something, but nothing,
Right,
nothing
kind
like
of close
this.
and make some rain.
Yeah.
Right. So this has been nuts, but
I should be on a cruise ship.
right, exactly. Yeah, that's where you should be.
Why am I not on a cruise
So you
ship during this hurricane
Messing
season?
with Jose.
That's right.
And then football, baby.
Yeah, man.
It's football time in America. So I'll take it. And my only solace is that we're tied with the Patriots. So
A lot of people are actually.
at 0-1. Mm-hmm. And so that's how I look at the bright side when your
Yeah.
team sucks.
Well, we played.
You're like, well, hey, we're tied with the Patriots and the Giants.
We played pretty decent for 3 quarters, and then it just kind of. I mean, I think the Raiders actually do have a better team than we do anyway.
I think they do.
They
too,
were
yeah.
they were projected to have a better team, but yeah, it's one of those.
Why are they not called the Las Vegas Raiders yet? Is that not till next year?
I believe it's next year.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Interesting.
It's still weird seeing the Los Angeles Chargers too. When you also have a Los Angeles Rams, it just is like,
I know.
really, LA, you get 2? Is that how this works? Well, I mean,
know,
New
in
York
one
gets
year-
2 too, but whatever.
I don't care how big they are. I just don't think any city, when there's cities that are out there just begging to have a team, no city should have 2. I'm sorry. That's just ridiculous.
I agree.
Yeah.
We're
sorry, Wichita.
It's San Diego, for crying out loud. Keep it San Diego Chargers always.
Yeah.
Now, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, what are you gonna do? That's it for me, Ed.
I'm sorry. I thought I was listening to Mike and Mike for a second. I tuned out.
Oh, I love the fact that you even know what Mike and Mike is.
I
That's
know.
great.
I'm
Well done,
actually
Placencius.
impressed.
Yeah, man. I'm aware.
sports
I'm
ball.
just not aware.
Right. You're observant.
There you
Exactly. He listens to them on mute.
That's right. Oh, that's awesome.
go. Yeah, it's kind of one of those weeks where you think to yourself, "Oh, it was a pretty busy week," and then when you go to actually talk about what happened, you're like, "I can't think of anything that actually took place."
yeah,
hate that.
I'm
Yep.
right here. Same thing.
So yeah, Sarah and I last night wrapped up. We've been watching. I've been rewatching. She's been watching for the first time Moonlighting from the '80s. And
What?
So yeah, we
Man,
finished
that's
With
awesome.
Bruce Willis?
with Bruce
Yeah,
Willis and
Bruce
Sybil
Willis-
Shepherd. Yeah,
Sybil Shepherd. Wow.
When he had hair?
When
If
he had
anybody was
hair?
wondering what Bruce Willis looked like with hair.
right. Yeah,
And it's a comedy, right?
a comedy drama. It depends on the season. So,
Dramedy.
Dramedy. Yeah,
Kind
they
of
got a little more on the dramedy.
isn't
and-
it?
Do you still sense the tension between the two of them?
Oh yeah, definitely.
The
Yeah,
heat, as it were.
they hated each other. It was kind of funny to watch.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, it was fun. Sarah had never seen it before, and so she enjoyed watching it and was a little sad when it was over. But it was a good week watching old TV shows.
How many seasons did that?
Yeah, how
was
many
that?
seasons is that?
It ran 5 seasons, and it was still at the time when TV shows did like 22 to 24 episodes a season.
Those days are over.
Yeah, their last season they did 13. The season before the 4th season they only did 14 because there were just so much drama on set and they just didn't get along and what have you. So for the time they were super short seasons. But it makes it easy to go through and binge watch and what have you. So that
Nice.
was a good time.
So you're saying, does it start off as a comedy and then by the time season 5 ends, it's a drama?
It starts off as a comedy. Season 4 turns really dramatic, and that's when they lost viewers. And so
Oh,
season
wow.
5, they try to right the ship, but it was kind of a lost cause by that time. So the show was pretty much over and done with. So
late.
yeah, too little, too late.
I never watched that show either. I mean, I remember seeing parts of it. I think my parents watched it, but I never really paid much attention. I was
Yeah, I didn't either. I just
Yeah, you
How
were,
did it
I always saw
age?
commercials for it.
you were
Did it
probably
age
pretty
well,
young. Maddie's Sybil Shepherd's clothes do not, but I kind of remember at the time not really thinking that kind of fit as well. So it's a lot of big shoulders and pastels.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
But Friday we had the Tapmans came over to hang out, and my brother-in-law Nathan started Uncharted: The Lost Legacy.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah, he did.
So much fun to get him started on that, and he really had a good time. It was fun. He put a pretty big dent into it. Got into probably the middle of chapter 5, which is a pretty big chapter.
Oh, that's a huge. Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
And so yeah, we had fun, and I just enjoyed watching him experience it and find himself sitting on a ledge and just sitting there for minutes contemplating whether or not he's going to try to make the jump. And so it was just a lot of fun to watch him explore and get back into
Nice.
that world. Yeah, it was a good time.
Do you find that you really, really enjoy watching people play games? Like it's almost as good as playing yourself?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because for me, it's the way to recapture playing it for the first time. You can kind of, it's about the closest I can get at least, is watching someone else experience it for the first time. And yeah, it's just, they do a really good job. Also, they don't put a lot of road signs up saying, hey, here's which way to go. You have to
No,
kind of figure
not
it
at
out.
all.
But somehow you still intuitively know which way to go. And Naughty Dog has really captured that well. I remember when I watched gameplay of Uncharted 4, where they had that big Jeep scene driving through the city, and thinking to myself as I watched it the first time, how in the world does he even know where to go? And when I played it, I just knew. It was just, they
Instinctively.
Yeah.
they do such a good job at that. And so once again, kudos to Naughty Dog for just a game really well done, and they got a good thing going over there.
Yeah, I think they're going places, that Naughty Dog.
I think they're going to do something. They're going to make a mark of some sort.
Yep.
Yeah. They should go back to platformers.
I know. Let's see. Game wise, played a little bit of Overwatch this week. Still kind of dabbling around with Recore. Didn't play as much as I played last week, but still kind of. I know what's coming, and so I haven't.
You're dreading it.
I'm kind of dreading it a little bit.
I want to see you overcome it, sir. You can do it.
We'll see what happens. And then
You're an overcomer.
Nice.
oh man, Disa. And then after that, Sarah and I kind of picked up the
Sorry.
dad puns.
Well played.
Oh, my
Well played,
God.
sir. Well played.
Sarah and I got back into. We realized we never broadcast Fantastic Beasts, the Lego Dimensions version.
I didn't even know they had a Lego Dimension Fantastic Beast.
Yeah. And
Man, that movie was good.
it was a fun movie. So it
I
was
really
kind of-
loved that. Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, and it was fun to get back into it, even in the Lego version of it, and get back in there. So we played through that, and then yesterday we got the Lego Dimensions version of the Lego Batman movie. So we're going to be jumping into that this week, I'm sure.
Nice.
So yeah, it's been I've actually spent a lot of time. While everyone around me has been grinding through Destiny, I've been grinding through Lego Dimensions, just replaying levels and try to collect all the collectibles and what have you. And so it's been fun to get back into that again. And I just realized, I think the end of this month the game is 2 years old, and I'm still playing it. And so I'm like, kudos to those guys.
That's
For
awesome.
a game that you can still play 2 years later. Definitely got our money's worth out of it. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was a good week. Good week.
Look at that.
Yeah, I watched Destiny 2, the campaign, on the YouTubes, but that's about as close as I came to enjoying what you guys have been able to get into.
Nice.
So yeah, that was it for me.
Chris?
Yeah. So last Saturday, I did the last little bit of stuff that I had to do to my car. I got 4 new tires, oil change, and alignment, and hopefully
Lord
now
have mercy.
I'm done with, knock on wood, knocking on everything I got around here.
Right.
That I won't have any more stuff. I should be set for a good while now. Everything's, like brand new, hopefully.
Good.
And then outside of that, I did go see, I think about 5 or 6 more houses on Saturday. My realtor's been real good. I just the houses usually start listing Thursday and Friday, and I just barrage real quick, like, these are the ones I'd like to see if you can fit it in. And then she just tells me when to be at the first house, and she's usually got them all lined up. I don't always know exactly
Nice.
which ones we're going to see. Still on the hunt, didn't find any. Found some, again, with some really good potential, but not any that we're thinking we're going to go ahead and pull the trigger on. So we'll have to wait and see next weekend. Stacy comes in on Saturday She'll fly in around noon. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to line it up so that once I pick her up from the airport, we just go straight from the airport to wherever the first house, hopefully, that we can see next weekend.
Oh, wow.
There is one in particular that I did see that if it's still on the market next week, her and I are going to go see it. But, given the state of the, way things are going in the real estate industry, it's just it could very well be gone, be under contract by next week. So, if it is, then it wasn't meant to be. But if it's still there, it'd be a great opportunity to finally have her go and look at it. It's one of the few ones that we saw that we were like, oh, that might have some potential. But I really want her to see it in person and kind of feel how it is. I did do some FaceTime with her, walking around, but it's just not... It's not the same, There's always stuff that you're like, oh, you need to kind of see in person to kind of get a good lay of the land kind of thing.
Right.
Outside of that, I didn't do anything. On Sunday, I just kind of took the day for me, and I just played Destiny all day while watching football.
Nice.
And then in the evening, shut down the Destiny to watch the Cowboys beat the Giants. And then that's also pretty much all I've been playing. For the first time in forever, I haven't played any Hearthstone and I haven't played any Overwatch.
Wow.
Now, I know that the Overwatch part for sure is going to change when Stacey comes back in because I want to jump back in with her. And I've actually been kind of itching about it a little bit. I was like, I kind of want to go in there. But then I think about it. I'm like, well, but at the moment, there's no event. So there's not really anything I really need to capture from a loot box until the Halloween event.
Yeah.
So I've been kind of just sticking with the Destiny stuff because it's the new shiny, going on right now. And I'm going to say that early on, I wasn't really feeling Destiny 2 very much. A lot of my issues, kind of thoughts I had with the beta were just the exact same. I mean, there really wasn't much different. And I will also say, even though the story is good, I enjoyed the story. I've finished it. I finished all the campaign stuff, and I'm into the in-game content now. I enjoyed it, but I don't feel like it does. There's people who are like, oh my gosh, it's just so good. And that's great, but I don't feel like it does anything any better than The Taken King did. The Taken King seems, it's not underrated because at the time people really liked it, but The Taken King is like where this franchise took a turn and started really doing things the right way in terms of the way they're telling story content and the right amount of cutscenes and cutscenes that matter to what you're actually learning about that specific story that's being told. I feel like this is just a slight iteration of that. It might be a little bit different, but for the most part, I just feel like they're doing as good as they did with that. I don't feel like it's any better than that. It's where it becomes better is that there's more to do. So that's kind of always the issue that was with Destiny 1 was people were always saying, oh, there's not enough content. And it kind of depends on how you look at it. And we can get into this a little bit later on, but there is more content, but it's just variations in a way of the same content. So if you've got to like what you're doing. If you don't like what you're doing, I still don't think Destiny's going to work for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely it definitely feels like you're this awesome being that just does a bunch of errands for people.
Yeah.
Really?
Which to some extent,
we're going to need you to attach that on that. You're like, okay.
And
looks like the other part wasn't plugged in. Could you run back and try to plug that in too?
Yeah, the majority of the story is still told through comms that are being said to you or your ghost giving information. I mean, it's not a lot of environments and stuff. And one thing that I totally thought they were going to change, because there was a little bit of this in Vanilla Destiny, but it's been nowhere to be seen since Vanilla Destiny, is your character is a mute. They don't ever say anything. And I really don't like that, because in Vanilla Destiny, there wasn't a ton of lines, but your character, depending on whether it was a human, an exo, or whatever, it had a voice. And whether it was male, female, it had a voice, and it would say things at certain different points throughout the story content. And then every expansion since then, and I'm including Destiny 2 as one of the expansions, your character never speaks once. There's a couple times in Destiny 2 in the campaign where it looks like your character's about to say something, and then they get cut off by the ghost or somebody else. And so conveniently, they say nothing.
The ghost is really his voice.
So, yeah.
And who's that ghost voice?
Nolan North.
That's not still Nolan, is it?
Yeah, it's Nolan North still.
It is?
Yeah, it is.
That guy's incredible.
Yep.
I mean, dang it. That's crazy.
Yeah. But that's the only thing that I've been playing. And I've been having fun with it. I've been having fun with it. It's turned a corner for me. Like I was saying early on,
good.
I was thinking wasn't really feeling it, but it definitely, some things kind of revealed themselves and things smoothed out, if you will. And then I got more into it. And now I feel like I'm back in the throes of just enjoying Destiny. And that's nice.
That's great, man.
There you go.
Yep.
Gabe, I meant to ask you what you thought about the opening of Destiny that Chris was referring to last week.
Oh, yeah. Maybe I should explain what that was since I just kind of teased it. But go ahead. What do you think, Gabe?
Yeah, you did.
I loved it.
Okay, good.
I was like,
I was gonna say the downside is I didn't do any of the So, do you want to explain it, Chris, or I can explain it? You explain it because you probably be able to explain it better.
Spoiler alert.
When you first start
Spoiler
up the
alert
game,
on the very, very beginning of Destiny, right after you install it.
yeah, and
This
it's
is
not even a
before you
spoiler
even
for
get to
story
anything.
stuff. Yeah, it's not a
Right,
spoiler
right.
for
It's
story
just
stuff. But
it's a spoiler.
It's a spoiler for feels, though.
Yeah.
Right.
If you like having feels,
Oh, okay.
this is gonna spoil
then
that.
feel them yourself. You feel me?
Yep.
All right, here we
Feel
go.
me.
So when you first
Did we
start,
mention this is a spoiler alert?
jeez.
Spoiler.
All right, we good? We think we got it all nailed down.
You may continue now, sir.
Okay,
We're done.
All right, when you first boot up the
I don't know if I'm
game,
done yet.
it takes you through, and
This is a spoiler alert.
how about you go ahead and say it?
You know what's going to happen is they're going to skip ahead past what they think the spoiler alert is, and by the time we get to it, they're going to hear the spoil.
All right, so when you first boot up the game, it kind of takes you through all the major milestones of the entire 3 years of Destiny 1. So it takes you to the final boss fight of Vanilla Destiny, the first raid, the final boss fight of each expansion, and then their raid or whatever their in-game content was. And not only does it take you through it, but it shows you the date at which you first completed it and whoever was in your party with you, your fire team, when you did it.
Oh, cool.
And that was really cool. Like, for instance, for me, the very first one is you defeat this like boss in the Black Garden in Vanilla Destiny. And my people that were with me, I believe, was Arctic Warlock and Paolo. Like, those are the names that were on my screen
so
with
cool.
me. And then it goes into the Vault of Glass, and then it goes into, each little in-game piece for that expansion, and then the subsequent raid or Prison of Elders like was in House of Wolves. And it just shows you each one, and when it has the date and it has the image there and shows all of your fire team, it was just super, super cool the way that they honored that and kind of remembered it, and like it's time-stamped and everything. And then at the end, the very last screen it says, hit X to start a new adventure.
That's
so that
great.
was really,
Yeah.
really cool.
What
It's a very
really great
tasteful
idea.
way to do it and a good
Yeah.
way to honor and show like, hey, yes, we're starting fresh. This is a hard reset and everything, but we see where you guys have been and we want to kind of show you that we honor that, at least in some way.
That's
It
pretty
was
cool.
a small thing, really, at the end of the day, because it probably didn't take them a ton of work to do that, but it really hit the right notes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It really did. And I mean, right when it came on, I was just smiling so big. I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Did you
And I think
screenshot
mine
it at
was
all?
like, no, I should have. I didn't know it was coming. And so I wasn't really, I wasn't ready for it.
Gotcha.
And I thought I was recording.
Oh,
no.
yeah,
Remember?
that's true.
And my recording didn't end up working.
Ah.
But, and then I think, I can't remember who all was there. But I remember Bread Fan and Raven were definitely on the screen.
Oh, that's
for mine,
cool.
for the Vault of Glass. But I don't remember who else was there for my first time beating it.
That's so cool.
That's great. That's a
It
great
was very
idea.
cool.
What a great feature.
It was an awesome. I ran to Matt Maher when I saw him at Disney. I was like, dude, have you started Destiny? He was like, no. I was like, all right, just get ready. Because the first couple seconds is awesome.
That's so cool.
So, yeah, man. So, Tim Router.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I totally forgot. I hadn't gone yet. Hey, Piper's topic.
It's on you, Bishop.
It is. It's all on me this week. It's all good. Topic of the week for Piper. Hurricanes. We've been watching the footage all weekend and just seeing. And it's so funny. Like, I think this is like as... Well, not as sad, but just as twisted as this is, the Weather Channel probably this is their Super Bowl for the next month because
Seriously,
that's
like
we
gotta
were
feel like superheroes.
Yeah.
everybody just plugs into Weather Channel, and you have to watch Jim Cantori fighting some sort of 130-mile-an-hour winds, and so we just watched the Weather Channel all weekend, just tracking everything, and man, it's just crazy how much the Caribbean got nailed, and it's been pretty amazing. So we spent a lot of time. Watching that. Piper had a soccer game again. She scored another goal, which was great.
Nice.
And our team's
She
really
did a bicycle kick into the goal.
Oh my gosh, that would be incredible. There are the team we played. There were some pretty amazing girls on there that just schooled us on. They have the the game. There's 2 fields, so you split them up 3. 3 from our team, and then we sub in on one side, and 3 from one team on the other. And the coach, our coach Dave, was saying, "Man, these girls are really good over here." I'm like, "Oh, we're doing all right on this side." And then they switched it up. I'm like, "Oh, that's what." Yeah, now I know what you're saying. What you're talking. Because this girl's just running through everybody, and then boom, pops it right in the net. It was pretty funny. So yeah, that's going well. Work's just been kicking my butt, and then it's kind of this calm before the storm, getting everything lined up for our closing. We actually do close on September 29th at 11 o'clock.
Oh, nice.
So I've got our friend who's moving us. He's all set. All of our financial stuff our financial stuff is all set. Our homeowner's insurance is all set. And then our renter's insurance for the storage units, we're going to cancel that. So there's just a lot of small little things to do and get things going. But yeah, man, I'm getting really excited now. Finally, it's nice to be in the home stretch and just have a home, get into a home. I'm just dreading the 29th. I just hate moving things left and right. But I think we're going to do it pretty slick in that while we're closing, I'm going to have the movers basically empty our 2 storage units. So we don't have to touch that. They can just do all that. And then they have to come over
you have
to...
2? I guess I didn't realize you have 2 of the storage units. I'm sure you had a lot of stuff, but...
We did, and we purged, but we still filled up 2 storage units. And there's still some things now that we're probably going to get rid of once we get in the house, but I'd rather get in the house, figure out where everything needs to go, and then go. Like, I know I need to go get some TV, so Chris, I'll be hitting you up because I'll be like, "Hey, I'm here. What do I need to get?"
Yeah, nice.
But I just need to measure how big I should probably get it in this room, and how much to get here. So a lot of it's just going to be getting in, getting the essentials done, Piper's room, our room, and the kitchen, and then kind of working from there, and then just taking it room by room like we did the last time, and it'll be great. So
are they still doing final touches on the actual build, or is it done?
Oh yeah. No, we have an initial walkthrough on the 22nd, and that's kind of the punch list of things that are still not done. And then we do a final walkthrough 2 hours before our closing.
Oh, wow.
And I have a feeling that's just a lot of cosmetic stuff. There's a chip here or there's this there, So hopefully it's nothing major. And I think I'm going to hire a professional inspector anyway, just a third party just to come in. I know it's a little expensive, but it's probably worth it. And they'll find something really ridiculous because they have to find something.
And I'm sure you don't want to do this, but do you have the ability to walk away at any point still if you
No, not now. Nope.
Okay, I was just curious.
Within 30 days, you really can't. And at this point, man, we wouldn't do that anyway. We've come so far, and the house is gorgeous. It's great. It's got all the room we need. It's our forever home. I don't see us going anywhere. Yeah, it's been great. I think just the process of this has been a struggle because we've had to deal with just all kinds of weird situations and and the builders they just it's not the same as when we built our second home. Builders just kind of, I hate to say it, but they just kind of nickel and dime now because once the real estate bubble popped, a lot of the things that are usually included are no longer included, and they're all upgrades. And so you're constantly shelling out extra money for just additional upgrades that you would think are not necessarily upgrades, but they are. So it's just, I think there's just been kind of this shift in builders, and I get it because builders are trying to protect themselves, protect their investments, and make sure that they come in under budget and keep their costs down. But at the same time, it's like you shouldn't necessarily gouge the people that are buying the house from you. So I mean,
this place should come with a toilet.
Well, yes, exactly. So I mean, it's like, would I do it again if I had to? Yes, but it's one of those things where you definitely see a change in how builders are building houses now versus how it was 14 years ago when we built this other house, because a lot of things were just included, and now those things are no longer included. So it's just one of those things, but it'll be great. They do, I will say,
probably like the record industry.
Yeah, there you go.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Where music was like, oh man, we'll spend $75,000 on this video, no problem.
Exactly, yeah. Yep, and
now we're like, you ain't got a friend with an iPhone? You ain't got no friends with an iPhone.
You don't have a YouTube channel? Come on now. Yeah, no,
exactly.
It's very much like that, and it will go back to the artist. The artist would have to pay for that, and and it's just that's actually a very good analogy, Gabe. Thank you for that at 6:00 in the morning. Well done.
Boom.
Yeah, so it's it's interesting. There's definitely a shift there, and but I will say, I mean, they build a fantastic house structurally and just in general. They are very good builders, and it's just one of those things where they don't care. They will, hey, this is how it is, and you either go along with it or you can go somewhere else. But that's kind of the attitude we've been feeling from them. But it's good. It's all going to be good. And once the 29th hits, I'll be in a new house. I'm trying to figure out where I'm actually going to do the podcast, and I may go back to the car. I may go old school.
What?
Why?
Yeah, you built a new house and you're going to podcast in the car?
And I'm going to podcast in the car. But here's the thing: like the gaming room is going to be like pretty close to Piper's room now. Because it's upstairs, and it's a big bonus room, and then Piper's room is just down the hall.
You had it built.
I know.
So there's not another room in the front, or like a little office or study or some
like my study is going to be directly under Piper's bedroom.
Okay.
I mean, I could
about the
probably
living room?
I'll probably go in a guest bedroom then. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Why
I'm
couldn't
just
you do it in
back
the
in the
office? Are you
car.
afraid you're going to wake her up? It's not like you're screaming and yelling.
Well, I mean, I get loud and we laugh a lot.
You're not, oh, yes, y'all.
Yeah, you're not
Well, that's
doing
true.
the Gabe stuff.
That's true. Yeah, it'll probably be in another guest bedroom somewhere.
There you
You
go.
know what? So
Man, you need
we'll
to
see.
be in a proper location finally. You got the new mic and all this stuff. You're like, in
But you
an
know
attic
what's
right
funny?
now.
Like, I feel comfortable in the car. Like, I'm totally fine in the car. Like,
yeah, but you're
I
gonna lug
love
that new mic and the laptop and all that into the car.
Yeah, I did it before, but I don't know. We'll see. It's all good. But that's all coming along great. On the gaming front, I finished Uncharted Lost Legacy, freaking fantastic, and it's so great. Ed, you totally nailed it. Like, you kind of don't know where to go, but at the same time, you know where to go. And even if you don't know where to go, you end up finding out where you need to go.
Right.
And so it's this weird thing of, I think this is where it has to go. And it was just, I really loved the chemistry between Chloe and Nadine. I thought it was really good. It was I said this last week too, and I was just getting into it. But as you even get into it further, and there's a few little twists here and there, I was just like, this is the female version of Nathan Drake and Sully, but I think it's even more. There's a lot more to it. There's like more of the emotional sides, and there's just their dynamic was great, and I think they did an amazing job, and I'm even more excited because I feel like Naughty Dog has finished this Uncharted, which is a very like just fun adventure, just kind of really. Not I guess happy, but it makes you just feel really good. And now I'm really excited because now they can focus on The Last of Us Part 2, which is going to be dark and gritty, I think, and just this total roller coaster of a ride that's very Naughty Dog-ish, but I think it's a lot on a darker side. And I think now like I'm kind of really getting excited for what they're going to do with The Last of Us Part 2. And so you'll probably be hearing me just talk about Last of Us 2. Like, any predictions will be Last of Us 2 from here on out with Naughty Dog, because now they have like the lanes are open, and now they can really start diving into it. So I think next game I'm going to play, and I know it's a little early, but because Until Dawn was free, I may go into a little Until Dawn.
Oh,
and
nice.
I'm kind of excited.
Snap.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited to play that. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. So.
No, thank you.
Come on, Gabe, go over and visit him.
We exactly. Yeah, come on over, Gabe. It'll be fun.
I don't want to have to game in the car.
You got that whole new PC setup. Go ahead and stream it, man. Just do it.
Yeah, man. So I think that's going to be the next game, and I think it'll be fun. But
I do want to see it really bad though.
Yeah, I do
See,
too.
so come on, man.
I do too.
I know. I don't know what's wrong with me.
It's all good. It's all good. I will say, we talked about this last week where, there's some games that are in your backlog that are just sitting there and you're like, it might be too late. And the last remaining game that I have is Watch Dogs 2. And I'm just like, I don't know if I'm ready for just another long adventure. So I have to say, I might be putting that on the shelf for a little while, because we've got all kinds of stuff coming up this next month.
That's true.
and that's like stuff that now it's like more new, and I'm more excited for like Shadow of War, and we'll have South Park coming out, and there's just in Assassin's Creed, there's all this stuff, and I'm like, I hate to say it, but I think Watch Dogs 2 is going to take a back seat for a little while.
You got some long games coming up.
Yeah,
exactly. And I just got off Mafia 3. Uncharted was a great breath of fresh air because it wasn't that terribly long, and it was so much fun. And I don't think Until Dawn is too terribly long either.
No.
So I think I'm feel good about doing that and then getting into some of these bigger, newer games. So we'll see.
Nice. Yeah, here lately, I've been kind of just like thinking about the games coming on, and I'm just like, there's just so many. They're all so big. It's just like, oh my gosh, it's a little overwhelming.
Yeah. They are all at the same time. I mean, you got Shadow of War and Assassin's Creed in October and South Park in October. And I'm sure there's a few others that I'm missing. But like those are the ones that I've pre-ordered. And it's just like, that's a huge month for some really big games. Like it's going to take me through Christmas to probably get through those 3. And then I've got more coming. So it's starting to stress me out a little.
You also forgot because Battlefront's going to be there and it's going to have a campaign this go around.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Pew, pew, pew.
Yep. Yeah, that's
pew, pew.
true.
And then we'll have Call of Duty. I know that's not your thing, but it's coming around the corner too. Like, and it's going to have a pretty cool campain I'm expecting. So,
yeah.
Bang, bang, bang.
And then back to Star Wars Battlefront. That's going to be there too. Don't forget that.
Yeah. All right, that's it for me. I'm done.
Nice.
All right.
I love the sounds.
Well, I know, Tim, I know you just finished, but do you got it?
Come on.
Then let's do it.
There are a ton of new releases this week, and a lot of which I have not heard of, but we'll get to it. NBA 2K18, I've heard of that one. Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox 360, and PS3. NBA 2K18 out this week.
With that story mode.
They got story mode. That's all you, Gabe. Get in there.
I feel like I won't be doing it. I might do it. I feel like people didn't ever do that, like, because these games are so big, they're like, oh look, they made a story mode, but nobody remembers that like Fight Night did it like years and years ago on Champion, where you got to play a guy who rose up through the ranks of boxing, and like you went to jail for a little bit and had to like bare knuckle box while you were in jail, and then you got out. That game was good.
That's awesome. That's the kind of sports games that I would play, is the ones that have the story with it, which would be
sports gloves.
It's really cool. It's really cool. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare Retribution. I believe this is some DLC for the PS4, and I think it starts with the PS4, and then a week later it will be added to the Xbox One.
It's usually a month.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
it's so
I
weird
think this is the last.
Now that they've switched, it's weird seeing that for the PS4 first versus Xbox.
I'm pretty sure this is the last expansion for it, or map pack, if you will, until the next game drops.
Yeah, until the next game, I'm sure. Pro Evolution Soccer 2018. Get your cleats on. Let's go do this. Xbox One, PS3, Xbox 360, and PS4. Get your skates on and your stick, because NHL 18 and NHL 18 Deluxe Edition, Xbox One and PS4. This one kind of creeped up on me, and I totally forgot. Dishonored, Death of the Outsider.
Yeah, man.
Get your mask on.
Get your mask on. I totally forgot about that. PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
Isn't it standalone, right? You don't have to have Dishonored 2?
So
I think that's right.
Yeah. So, man, I may need to play that too. Metroid Samus Returns for the 3DS. Rayman Legends Definitive Edition for the Nintendo Switch.
Wait. What are we getting on for these?
Huh?
I got to get my suit on for Samus.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
yes, continue. Get your suit on. Rayman Legends Definitive Edition for the Switch. Get your spin on.
Leaf on.
Okay. Here we go. NASCAR Heat 2 for the PS4, Xbox One, PC. Get your car on.
Get your left turn on.
Get your left turn. Get your left turn on, dude. I like that. That's good. Samurai Showdown 5 special for the PS4 and Vita.
Yeah, get your sword on.
Get your sword on.
Get your hi-ya on.
Here's a good. This is actually a decent one. Double pack for you get Inside and Limbo double pack for Xbox One and PS4.
Ooh, get your Kill Children on.
Get your creepy black and white kill game on.
Exactly.
How much is that bundle?
I do not have pricing.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, gosh, Chris.
Golly.
Come on, man. Jeez.
Trying to get my wallet on.
Yeah, get your wallet on. Get your web search on and take a look. Get your Google on.
Curiosity on.
$30.
All right, there it is.
That's a good
That's
price.
not bad. Yeah, for Inside and Limbo.
That's a good price. Were they both for free?
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think Inside's been free.
Oh, has it not?
No, because it only came out a year or so ago. It only just came out on PS4. I guess it was.
Didn't it come
a year
out
and
on
a half
Plus
ago.
for like a month though? I thought it did. No,
Get your,
It may have been
get your
last
oops
summer.
on.
I don't remember.
get your oops on. All right, moving on. Injustice 2 Fighter Pack 2 for the Xbox One and PS4.
Get your superhero on.
That's right. I don't know about this one. Maze for the PS4, Xbox One.
Get lost on.
Get your corn on.
Get your Puff Daddy on.
That's Maze, not Maze.
Oh, sorry.
It's a get your puzzle on. It's a puzzle of some sort.
Okay.
Transcripted for the Xbox One. It's a puzzle
typewriter
shooter
on.
hybrid. Yeah, get your typewriter. get your cursive on. And Don't Starve Together for the console edition for the Xbox One.
Don't get your grub on.
Get your hunger on.
Get your hatchet on.
That's awesome.
Oh, that might need to be a thing.
This could definitely be a thing. I'm feeling this
Did
could
we
be
just
a thing.
start a thing?
Let's get this thing on.
100 years from now, 100 episodes from now, we're going to have somebody on a Discord. Like episode 261,
Yep.
when Get Your Thing On started.
That's exactly it. Oh, I love that.
You ready
I
for that,
love it a
Bad
lot.
Gamer Elite?
Right.
Yeah. Take that. Hashtag MTTG historian. Get your history on. All right. All right. There are. We have no oops this week, which is great.
That's right.
Everybody
Get your
left.
perfection on.
Everybody left us alone. We will have MPD for August next week, so I will get my stats on next week,
There
and
you go.
then we'll be good to go. Back to you guys. Oh, dear Lord. Here we go.
This feels so good. Chris, get your news on.
I'll do that. So Bungie, we're going to talk about Destiny 2 real quick. Bungie had sent out a
Oh,
tweet on
that's the way.
September
It don't have to be
9th.
real quick. Take your time on.
Yeah, Bungie had sent out a tweet on September 9th, and they said, "Thanks you all so much for playing Guardians. Right now, Destiny 2 has over 1.2 million concurrent players online. We'll see you in the wild."
Wow.
So we've been talking a lot about like PlayerUnknown Battleground and Dota 2, and then this one as well. So Destiny 2, kind of the last week, as you might see. And I saw a couple people tweeted at us, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, all my friends are, my whole playlist, everybody's just playing, all my friends list, they're playing Destiny 2. And I was definitely one of those people, like we talked about a little bit earlier. And
I'm a stick hand, friends.
so, Gabe, say a little bit about just your thoughts of Destiny 2 coming from how much you've done. I know you haven't quite finished the story yet, but like, what do you have any, like comparisons to Destiny 1 of what you played there versus here? Do you see things you like better, not better?
Oh yeah. It's funny because when I thought I was recording myself, you tend to talk out your feelings more.
Yeah.
About what you're feeling. So I remember as I was playing through it, I was thinking like, look at Destiny trying to have a story up in this piece. And they did like a rewind at the beginning, which set the story up that I was like, why didn't they do this in the first one? But maybe they didn't know where they were going at in the first one. So obviously story is a big difference for me, especially as being a solo campaign guy, that I'm really enjoying. I'm really enjoying the fact that it seems like they took time to try to map out a well-rounded story, start off really determining a bad guy and things like that, instead of that just kind of unfolding and you just like hearing about people as the game went on, like, oh, and then there's this big guy you have to go fight. Oh, then there's this big guy you have to go fight. I feel like this one's kind of put their foot in the sand early on, being like, hey, here's the bad guy.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's how it'll end up. Again, I haven't beat the game, but it's fun to watch it do that, and it's fun to see it take dramatic turns in that way. Also, a thing that the first one was missing that this one has is comedy. Especially with Cade. And so finally having something that you can smile about and joke around about. The first one, I don't think on purpose, but the first one like was void of any like comedy.
Yeah.
I don't remember there being anything funny in there. Maybe there was like a maybe there was somebody in the tower that would quip or something like that. But like,
Yeah.
as far as having a character that was funny,
There were a few things your ghost would say something or another character that was a little bit like kind of like a ha ha ha, but it wasn't like a laugh out loud kind of thing.
Exactly. And so obviously those two things for me are the same. As far as gameplay, I was talking to a buddy the other day that didn't get into Destiny 1 but tried Destiny 2. And I feel like if I hadn't played any Destiny 1, Destiny 2 would be extremely overwhelming. Like to start. Yeah, just like navigating the menus.
Okay.
Navigating the menus, trying to figure out where to go. Now they do make it easy. I feel like the map, once you get used to it, is way better this time around than Destiny 1 with being able to just with how they've got all the things kind of laid out for you, and you could just pinpoint something, drop in here, and you know exactly where you're going. I think they had a little bit of that in Destiny 1, but I really like this map system.
Yeah.
But I just think like switching out weapons, this whole shader debacle, like I think all that stuff is just a little bit deeper to jump into than it would have been on Destiny 1. I would have liked, even though I'm a seasoned Destiny player, I wish that they would have had a little bit more hand holding for the newer people.
I thought the same thing when I watched online, and I was like, because the guy would say, "Oh yeah, this is where you do this, and this is where you do this," and I was like, "But if you didn't play Destiny, the first one, how would you know?"
Right. And the big thing I felt like with Destiny 2, with them restarting everybody, was kind of the whole like, so now everybody can join in Destiny 2 if you missed Destiny 1. And I just feel like, not that it's impossible or anything like that, but I just feel like it's a little tall order at the very beginning to really know exactly what's going on.
Well, see, what I will say here is I do think, I said this before, and I'm still going to say it again. I still feel like this is the case today. The only reason that this is a Destiny 2 is because they wanted to, I'm sure there's some systems that they realized were kind of broken and they couldn't fix. But more so than that, I think they just wanted to start fresh to bring in the PC people. I don't know how doing that goes into all the netcode. Maybe so much had to be changed that it just couldn't be added. But I feel like the main reason that this is a reset is because they wanted to bring in the PC. I mean, there's really no other reason. There's a lot of the gameplay itself, the core gameplay, is for the most part the exact same. The structure of everything is the same. The way the planets, how many planets there are, and how the map is like there's tweaks and there's better stuff, but it's all the same thing.
Yes.
I don't feel like there is more to do in the game in terms of content. And the planet, the areas where you go on the planets, there's more of it. There's more area, open world area to go to.
Right?
Yes, there's more open world to go to. So that's obviously better. But what you're doing, you're still doing the same thing, just more of the same, slight variants, if you will. So to me, like this could have easily been just Destiny, Rise of the Red Legion or something, like kind of like how every year there was a mainstay like big expansion, and then there were these little bitty ones or whatever. Like the Taken King was a big expansion, like it had its own collector's edition and all this kinds of stuff. This could have easily been just Year 4's version of the Taken King. Again, story wise, it's almost the exact same thing in terms of the way that they tell the story. Not that the story's the same, which is good.
Right.
And I will say the few things that I did notice is I think this game is easier than Destiny 1 was. There's less grinding in this game. Currently, as it sits right now, there's less things you need to grind for. There's more, like for instance, material. Each planet has a material you have to gather. Or you don't have to gather, but you can gather. All you do with that material is you go turn it into the person who's in that planet that's like the lead of that planet, if you will. And you turn it into them and you get rep. And once you build up enough rep, you get an engram or you get rewards for it. Whereas in the first game, you had to gather all these materials. Yeah, you had to gather all these materials because those materials would be used for upgrading your gear or your guns, and certain guns use certain materials.
We don't know that won't happen.
It hasn't happened yet, and I'm.
But we're not even a week into the game.
But what I'm saying is, like, I'm getting weapons and I'm getting gear right now, and I don't have to put in material to any of them. They're all unlocked. Like there aren't nodes. The nodes are unlocked right away. Like they're just done. Like I don't have to do anything, which is good on the one hand because it's less grinding. But I wonder if in the long term, if it's also going to mean like, well, I feel like I did everything. Well, that's where they're on a fine line right here, and it makes me feel like the way that they've done some of the stuff is that they're going to end up toying around with it. And obviously, tweaks are always something that's going to happen in a game. That's fine. But I have a sneaking suspicion that like whenever this next expansion comes out, that some system's going to change or morph a different way, and if that stuff starts happening all over again, where every expansion systems are changing and everything works different, and there's this new material or whatever, it's going to bum me out because I was expecting them to finally have, their act together and know what they're doing. Whereas rather than feel like they're figuring out as they go, I'm just holding off judgment until to see if that becomes a thing. But I do at the moment, I like how it's less grindy. Like I can do more of the fun stuff and less of the, I have to go do X, Y, Z because this, that, or whatever.
I remember upgrading the weapons was a bummer the first time around.
Yeah, and now once you get a weapon, like it's whatever its power level is and all the nodes, which are the attributes of the gun, like, it reloads faster or it does this. You don't have to unlock any. They're already unlocked when you get the gun. You don't have to work to level up the weapon or level up the gear, which is nice. You
still get to choose.
Yes, you can still choose between them, but they're all unlocked. You don't have to level them up and spend material and glimmer and all this other stuff on there. And that's the other thing. Like, I think the glimmer cap for Destiny 1 was 25,000 or something like that. And this time it's I think 100,000 or 99,000. And I've been at max glimmer forever because I've got nothing to spend it on. So at the moment, there's nothing. Now, granted, more stuff's coming out like that they're going to introduce, and things are going to happen before the next expansion comes. So I'm sure more things are going to pop up to spend glimmer on. But at the moment, it's like I'm already getting to that point where it's like, man, outside of just not being max level, it's like I feel like I'm having fun, but it's like, is this going to be able to last, or they're going to have to change something to put more of a carrot on the stick kind of thing? I feel like, and
because didn't they introduce light late
in this game? Or are you talking about
in D1?
Well, it was the same basic concept in that you had your
everybody
character
hit the level cap really quick.
Yeah,
and then it felt like they had to do something to.
Well, it's the same way as it is now. Once
up.
you finish the campaign in Destiny 1 and now, you should be max level or really close. And then after that, in Destiny 2, it's power level, whereas in Destiny 1 it was called light level. But they're the same thing. They're just called different things, and they work the same way essentially. In some ways, I would have liked it better if they were just like, hey, this is year 4 of Destiny. I always liked the idea that Destiny was just going to be this persistent thing that grows, kind of like World of Warcraft. Like World of Warcraft is still just World of Warcraft, and you'll have an expansion or whatever, but it's just World of Warcraft. I liked the idea that was going to be what Destiny was. Now that there's a Destiny 2, it makes me feel like, okay, well, there's probably going to be Destiny 3 and 4, and that's not like a make or break thing. I kind of was liking the idea of, this just Destiny. Like, that just seems like a cool concept to me. And in terms of, Gabe had mentioned the shader thing. I just want to touch on that real quick because of everything that they have changed in the game. Like, this is absolutely the worst thing in the game. It's annoying as all get out. And they gave reasons like, we really want you. They're going to drop frequently, and we really want you to be able to like say, I want to go back to planet X and get the shader that you get there, because some of them are specific to the planets that you go to. And it's garbage because in Destiny 1, in Destiny 1, shaders.
Well, explain what shaders are. Number one,
shaders are they're basically color schemes that you put on your character. So you have whatever your armor is, and in Destiny 1, you would put on this shader, and it would make your entire outfit like color coordinated, like you'd have a new color.
Whatever
so
color.
Like now I've got a black and silver armor, or I've got black and white, or I've got blue and red, or whatever your shader was. And they were just RNG, so they were random loot drops. But there were some shaders that were tied to specific things. Like if you did the raid, every raid had its own shader that you could potentially get to drop in that one. That's still something that may be a thing. We don't know because the first raid hasn't dropped. But the thing about Destiny 1 was that once you got a shader, it was a permanent thing, and you always had access to it. Even if you dismantled it, there was a kiosk you could go back to, and you could acquire it again. It was a permanent thing, and you could swap shaders and all this kinds of stuff. So now what they did is they made it to where shaders you have to use multiples. So like if I want my helmet to be a color, my chest armor to be a color, and my leg armor to be a color, I have to use 3 shaders. And most of them drop in packs of 3, but not all of them. Sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 5, and it goes around. But the biggest problem with it now is that they're consumable. So if I put a piece of a shader on my chest armor, and then I get a new piece of chest armor, and I swatch to that one, if I don't have more of that shader, I can't change it. And you're getting armor all the time, especially early on in the game. Even when you're at the end game, you usually will still get better drops later on, and it'll be less frequent, but you will keep changing your armor. So the fact that they made it to where you can't keep them. So think about it like this. It would be like Overwatch saying, hey, cool, you've got this Grillmaster 76 skin out of a loot box. Awesome. Equip it. I hope you have a lot of fun with that. But if you get a new one and then you switch to that other one, you no longer have Grillmaster 76. You got to hope it drops again.
Yeah, it's
That's
so
basically
weird.
what they did, because this is the only way to customize your character in the game. And it's now locked behind RNG. It's ridiculous the way
that's
that
weird.
it works. And they do drop somewhat frequently, but like Kale's been playing like a crazy man because he took off the week when the game came out. And he's already, last night he finally did. He's like, I'm going to put on a shader. And then he swapped a piece of armor. He's like, oh, I don't have any more of that shader. I got to figure out where it came from and go try to find it. It's like, that's the dumbest thing that they did in the game. I can't stand that they did this. But if that's the worst thing in your game, Destiny 2 is doing pretty good. So
I was about to say, yeah.
I think you're doing
I didn't
all right.
even use shaders the first time around. Like, I'd have him explain it to me the whole way. I think I used it once when we finished Vault of Glass and we wanted to get that picture.
Yeah.
Because at the end of Vault of Glass, everybody gets the same white shader or whatever it was. And so we all put it on our clothes and took like a jailhouse picture.
Oh, nice.
But that was the only time I ever used it in D1.
Chris, I like your similarities to like World of Warcraft or some of these long-term games. I think that's probably what they're doing, because what else would they have done if this was Destiny 2? What else would they have really changed? Because the core dynamic of the game you love and most people enjoy, so you're not going to completely shift from there. So it would just be these little minor adjustments here and there, and then throw in story, a story mode. I don't see any other way that they would make this different that wouldn't be like an expansion. I think it's just an additional extension to the franchise. I think you're right. I don't think they had to excuse me, I don't think they had to call it Destiny 2. They could have called it something else. And I like their year 1, year 2, year. I like that a lot, actually, because that sounds like it's going to be like a forever game. But
and again,
I'm kind of with you on that. It's like, but at the same time, like, what else would they try to do?
And I'm not one of these people that's saying they have to change super dramatically. That would have been a bad idea. No. And I'm sure that it's very possible there was technical reasons why they felt they had to go to a Destiny 2. Just my gut tells me it was more about bringing in the PC, making everybody start fresh. And the reason is, and this is a spoiler, so if you don't want to know anything about Destiny, this is not a story spoiler, but this is a spoiler alert. Another thing that underscores my reason of why they didn't have to reset everything is because there are
Spoiler alert!
There are exotic weapons and armor. They're the exact same thing you had in Destiny 1 that you can now still re-find in Destiny 2. So it's like, why did you remove my Mida multi-tool that I worked so hard to get and to level up? You took it away from me, and now I can work and I can get it again. It's like, okay, if you really wanted to start fresh and didn't want me using the same weapons and blah, 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 all the stuff that people have said, it's like, why are you giving me the same thing and you just wiped it away and making me hunt for it again? That's stupid. That makes no sense.
I agree.
That does seem
So
weird.
there has to be another reason. It has to be either Activision was like, we want to make money, so start fresh and bring in the PC crowd, or something. There was some reason that they did this besides like, oh, Destiny 2 is so much better and so much more expensive and it's such a better game. It's like, no, it's not. It's a lateral move. Let's be real here. That's
It
what
might
it
be
is.
a broader base for them to start from, though, and maybe they'll want to expand this one a bit more.
Yeah, again, that would lead to like the technical reasons. It could be that they built it in a certain way that they hit like a roadblock and they're like, crap, we can't fix this based on the old system, so we need to start fresh. So
and
that's
I've heard
possible.
Stancil talk a lot about that back in the day. You know, I forget what it was exactly we were talking about. Maybe it was like an animation tree or something like that, or something they had done.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, we had to do this all over again because what we had was terrible.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
And so I definitely can think, after seeing the success of Destiny, where they did good, where they went wrong, hopefully Bungie has looked at it and been like, you know what? All right, this time around, let's do this as our base. And then we can kind of go from there. And it seems like, at least for me, if this was the first Destiny I was playing, I'd be like, man, if the first one was like this, what is everybody complaining about?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't get it, because it definitely seems to me a lot more well-rounded, even when it comes to the characters.
Yeah.
Because people have to remember, those that are just jumping into Destiny 2, all these guys that you're fighting alongside before, you just saw at a table before. Like, they didn't have no powers. They weren't strong. I know that some of them you saw in some expansions, but those that play vanilla Destiny like me, like, it was very like they were just bossing you around, and it was you and a bunch of Guardians doing their bidding. But you're like, why do you have Why do you, and then this one they come in like kind of butt kicking, and so that's kind of nice to see them all active and hear the same voices back again, and kind of wreaking havoc alongside those guys. And I think the turn the story takes towards the very beginning is really cool. So
yeah, and
I've got high hopes, and I think I'm going to go in and do all the expansions and everything on this one that I didn't do on Destiny 1. But this one's got me all in my feelings about playing, and I got to play with Kale and Katie and Bread last night.
Oh, very cool.
And so it was that too brought it back. That was my first time in Destiny 2, the only couple days that I got to play it that I played with somebody. So
yeah, the two last little things that I'll say real quick is, one, Gabe, I would also encourage you're playing the expansions, because a lot of the stuff that you're liking about Destiny 2 so far in terms of a lot more humor and all that kinds of stuff and personality into the game was really ushered in with The Taken King, which also, by the way, Luke Smith was the creative director of The Taken King, and he is Destiny 2. So you can definitely see. So I would assume that more of that is going to happen going forward.
And that was the first expansion, or that was
that was year 3. That was
something?
like year 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then, actually, sorry, that was year 2. And then, so the other thing that I was going to mention is, you had said that you didn't feel like it kind of ushered you along or explained things very well, or it would be hard for like a brand new person. I didn't necessarily pick up on that, just because, again, granted,
you didn't after doing 1,200 hours.
Let me make my point here. Let me make my point here, homeboy. Spoiler! No, not really. What I'm getting at is that even from my perspective, I thought it was simpler, because the game feels. Lack of a way of really saying this, I don't mean this negatively, but it feels in that sense dumbed down to me compared to Destiny 1. So I thought it felt easier. But on top of that, despite all of that, the thing that always has been about Destiny, and the thing that Bungie has always pushed, and they're still pushing it really hard right now, and part of what you were saying not being handholdy is to add to that, is that they very much want you to play with people. They want you to feel like you can do it on your own. It absolutely is doable, but it's going to be easier, number one, with people, and two, you're going to have more fun with people. So they definitely push it in a way to where like they want you to do it as a team. So that's part of it as well, where like they may not handhold on everything, but it's because they want you to figure out as a team. Does that make sense? So that's part of the way the design of doing that, where they do leave some things off, is to encourage you to want to team up with other people and attack a goal together. And very similar to like Overwatch, Overwatch really tries to play up the team aspect of it. Destiny 2 does a lot of the same thing, and Destiny in general does a lot of the same thing.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, as far as news goes,
yes,
I've only got one thing really.
All right.
It's two separate things, but I'm gonna go ahead and loop them in.
Do it.
Old Reggie Fils-Aimé,
The old fees.
the old Fees,
Old fees.
he said, do not go on eBay and buy an SNES Classic. Don't do it. He said, I strongly urge you not to overbid on an SNES Classic on any of the auction sites, and that you shouldn't pay more than $80 ever for one.
Good for him,
he's
man.
Trying to make the promise that, look, we're going to make a bunch of these things. Don't jump on eBay and get them. And I like that he's doing this, because like it is a little crappy when you see somebody buy like 8 of them and then sell 8 of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, like
Gabe.
I know, right? Like I told you guys, if I could get a second one, I'd be, giving it away on the podcast.
Yes.
I didn't get a second one, but if I could have, and we still might come Christmas if they're as available as Reggie's saying.
Well, can I add on to your little story here?
Sure.
Okay, so this morning at like 5 a.m. there was a press release from Nintendo released, and I'm just going to read it, or most of it anyways. It says, due to incredible demand of the upcoming Super Nintendo Entertainment System Super NES Classic Edition system, Nintendo plans to ship the retro-inspired production into 2018 now. Originally, they were going to quit at the end of December. So now they're pushing the production of it through to 2018. They said, in addition, more units of the Super NES Classic Edition will ship on its September 29th launch day in the US than was the entire shipment of the NES Classic Edition all of last year. Mm-hmm. So they're just on launch day, they're going to be pushing out more than they did of the entire NES Classic. And on top of that, Next summer.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah, next
That's
summer,
right.
they're going to bring back the NES Classic and start selling it again.
That's
So
right.
I
They would be foolish not to.
So the people that paid $300 for it, I'm so sorry.
Well, I'm going to say this, though. I hold Nintendo to task more than probably anybody for a lot of stuff because I don't like the goofy stuff that they do. So this is very, very, very good on you, Nintendo. It looks
Yes.
like you're
Yeah.
not only you're doing the right thing and you're extending production of the Super NES Classic and you're like hitting all the notes to like underscore that you mean what you say when you say we're going to have more of them. Because that could just be a throwaway and be like, well, we made 200,000 of the NES and this time we made 200,002 of the Super NES. You could have pulled some
right.
goofy crap like that. But it
They're
seems
doing
like,
something
yeah.
that they haven't done in a while, and that's listen to their demand.
Yeah, and they're doing a really, really good thing here.
recognize
So
the demand.
kudos, Nintendo.
Yeah.
Good on you for all
Yep.
of this.
And I like that they're addressing it. They're actually being vocal about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're being upfront with it. That's a great thing. I love that.
there you go.
And now I might actually get both. If
Look at that.
I can find them, I'll buy them.
Reggie's convinced you.
I know. I like that. I like that a lot. I mean, but that's what companies are supposed to do, right?
Yeah, when you have a
Yep.
thing that people want, you're supposed to sell it.
I love that.
Perfect. Perfect.
Nice.
Is that it for you, Chris?
The only other thing that I have, just because I thought it was kind of funny. So the boss, and heaven help us, I'm not going to say this dude's name, but the boss
Yeah.
for the Pokemon company, the CEO.
What's his name?
Yes.
Kazu
Yes, keep going.
Ishihara.
Get it?
Almost
Yes.
there.
Come
Nice.
on.
So we're just gonna go by
Get that
Ishihara.
stick- Get that stick out of that
But
spot.
he straight up told Nintendo, he was like, the Switch is gonna fail. This thing's dumb.
Yeah, it's a couple weeks ago. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and he was like,
What?
I told Nintendo the Switch wouldn't be a success before it went on sale because I thought with the age of smartphones and everything that nobody was going to carry a game console. He said, obviously, I was wrong.
Wow.
Yeah, so I like that because everybody thinks like, or not everybody, but a lot of people that aren't really enthralled with all the Nintendo stuff and for a long time I thought the same thing, that Nintendo owned Pokemon, but they don't. Pokemon Company is a separate thing. They're just kind of aligned.
Right.
And so I just thought it was funny. I mean, think about like there's a boardroom and like Nintendo's coming out and they're like, Pokemon CEO, like, look, this is what we're making. He's just like, this is crap. This ain't gonna sell. What are y'all doing? And then to be proved wrong and just come out and be like, yeah, I'm gonna admit I was totally off on that. I just think
funny.
I think that's awesome whenever CEOs can admit like, man, that was my bad. I screwed that up.
Yep.
Exactly.
Call that one.
Yeah, I thought that was a funny story.
Looking at you, Pokemon convention in Chicago.
They know they got that wrong.
You know, Reggie could throw shade on that if he wanted to.
Yeah, he could.
Oh my gosh.
That's
All
fine.
right, but that's it. I'm out.
Eduardo,
Yes, sir.
what is going down with you?
Well, over on the YouTube channel, we've got new this week, Lego Dimensions, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. That entire story is up there, parts 1 through 6.
Did you see that movie?
Yeah.
Oh, so
How
good.
was it?
I liked
So
it. It
good.
was fun.
I never saw it.
I loved it.
It was a
great.
nice, kind of like The Lost Legacy. It was a nice way to revisit that world without feeling like you were rehashing the same thing. So it was a kind of a nice expansion to a world that,
I like that.
we already enjoyed so much. Looking at our top 10 YouTube videos this week, combining the average watch time and views for September 3rd through September 9th. Number 10, Sniper Elite 4, Part 3, San Celini Island, Destroyed Cameras.
Destroy those
What?
cameras.
That low?
I know. Right? Well, the same thing that upset the chart last week is still wreaking havoc this week. Number 9, Watch Dogs 2 Part 5 Bottom Dollar Fail. Number 8, Watch Dogs 2 Part 6 Bottom Dollar Complete.
Uh-oh. We might not even be on this thing, Chris.
Number 7, Married to the Games Episode 260 Everything Cool.
I do everything cool.
Everything Cool.
Soccer, baseball, even drive cars.
Drive cars cool. Number 6, Ori and the Blind Forest Part 14.
The fell swamp.
The best one.
Gabe and Chris.
Trying to bring some flavor.
Number 5, Gabe and Chris react to The Last of Us Part 2.
There you go. 5. Not bad.
That'll be there.
Number 4, Hugh Part 10 University. Number 3, Watch Dogs 2 Part 19 Paint Job.
Oh, yeah.
Number 2, Watch Dogs 2 Part 48, Ghost Signals.
Oh.
Number 1, Hugh Part 11, The Ending. You bunch of cheaters.
Yep.
Bunch of cheaters. That's awesome.
Bunch of cheaters out there looking at the end of first.
Right. Just get it and play it. It's free.
Yeah, we got a bunch of Chris McCrackens out there.
22 seconds, and I'm YouTube.
Well, every week we ask you guys a question. Last week was no different. We asked you, what was the first mobile game you remember falling in love with? Starting over on Discord, Kaboski. No router. All right.
Morning, crew.
There we go.
Thank you.
He had to wake up.
It would be Plants vs. Zombies for me. It's one of the very few mobile games that I played and beat next to the Room games. I love the strategy involved and how intense some waves can get, where you're hitting everywhere on the screen just to get sunlight and place your plants before they get to the house. Amen. I love Plants vs. Zombies. Mm-hmm. Love it. Roman, the first mobile game that really sucked me in was Pathway to Glory for the N-Gage. Don't judge me. It was like an XCOM-like tactics game set in World War II made by Red Lynx, who are now known for the Trials series. There was a sequel later set in the Pacific Front, and they were both excellent. I'd love to see them do a new version for modern smartphones.
Nice.
A skewed one. I've played quite a few mobile games to pass time, but the only one that's kept me truly hooked is Marvel Puzzle Quest. I'm currently sitting at 504 consecutive days played.
Oh, wow.
504!
Yeesh.
Wow.
That's a year and a half. The cross
Man.
between traditional Puzzle Quest mechanics and roster building keeps me coming back. The fact that you build a 3-person team deepens the experience as a whole as well. The sense of discovery when you find that nearly perfect synergy of a team's skill just makes me feel amazing when I'm able to clear a battle by locking down an enemy team completely.
Man.
Get it done.
Do it.
Marvel Puzzle Quest.
Wow.
I don't know if I've heard of that.
I haven't either.
Over on the Facebook, Robert Darrell Good Jr.
Jeez.
Fun Run. It plays like a 2D side-scrolling Mario Kart, except the racers are on foot. And add to the fact that races are generally completed in a minute or less, which is very practical when you might be on the go, and I think I found my ideal mobile game. I've had to delete it sometimes just to make space on my phone, but I usually end up downloading it again eventually. Latest Fun Run game is Fun Run 3 if anyone decides to check it out.
Nice.
Fun Run.
Fun run.
Mike Doherty, buckle in for this answer.
Buckle in.
Snake,
Unbuckled.
unbuckle. There you go.
Good
And the
answer.
ride's
Good
over.
answer.
Nathan David Dugas. I've never really gotten into mobile games, but the closest thing for me was both the OG Pokemon games and Tetris on the Game Boy.
Ah.
Yeah. Cell phones went through that size,
Yeah, they did.
right?
Yeah, true.
Right.
True.
Right. Over on Twitter, Extra Life Mike at MikeBC1985. I played Angry Birds for the first time in 2011 and thought it was the best thing since sliced bread.
Nice.
Wow.
That game was fun.
Oh, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Michael at Infamous MMS. Tetris for Game Boy. I still remember the music, which is stuck in my head now. Telling you, that's mobile. It's not what we think of mobile now, but that was as mobile as it got
Right.
back in the day.
Yeah.
Kyle Hall at Marvel Zombie 616. Army of Darkness Defense. It was the first mobile game I couldn't wait to get back to and killed my battery so many times playing. Ooh, Chris,
Yes.
shield your ears.
Oh. I don't want to hear that. Plug it
I
in.
don't like that. Plug it in.
Plug it
in.
Scott Baker at Scottish Bakery. Great Big War Game. It was a better take on Advanced Wars with a lot of character, and I played so much of it. Great Big War Game. I never heard of that one either. That sounds like a ripoff of something else, and they're like, what should we call it? I don't know, Big War Game? I don't know. No, Great Big War Game.
The big shooty shoot hurt.
You're a genius.
Exactly. We're going with breathable underwear.
Breathable and edible.
What the freak? Yeah, gross. Well, you know where to
You know where to find us.
You know where to find us. Facebook.com/married to the games, Twitter.com/MTTGcast. Of course, I'm marriedtothegames.com. And like Ed said, YouTube.com/married to the games. And now I'm
You can do it. You can do it.
now on Patreon.
Power through. Power through.
Breathe through your nose.
Now on Patreon at patreon.com/MTTG.
This is so much easier now that you don't have dreads to hold back for you.
Hey, there you go.
Exactly. It's so true. Speaking of, just a little family thing that I thought was funny. Somebody sent me a picture the other day, and it was of a thing that we did at Toby's house called the Backyard Barbecue, where winners from a radio station came to Toby Mac's house, and we grilled out in the back. And the radio guy asked me, like, hey, would you, like, kind of host, like, co-host this DJ this thing with me, and we'll walk around and we'll talk to people. And I said, sure, I'll do that. And as I walked past the door and I looked to the left, I saw this blonde girl inside Toby's house taking care of the kids I had never seen before. And I looked over at Toby. I said, hey, man, who is the new nanny? And he said, her name's Jenny. And I said, oh yeah?
Come on.
And so I saw a picture of the first day that I ever saw my wife, Jennifer.
No
working
way.
at Toby.
That
Toby
is
and Amanda's. Yeah.
awesome.
Wow.
That's cool.
So I sent her the picture. I was like, babe, this is the first time that I ever saw you in this picture. She's like, oh, and that's sweet. And also in that picture is Truett, who was 7 at the time.
Wow.
And then it was cool because I got that picture on the same day that we were at PAX on Sunday on the 4th of September when he turned 19 years old.
Wow.
That's amazing.
True dog.
I was like, look at this. You
Amazing.
were just a little baby child in this picture. Anyway, me and Toby Mac got a lot of history, man.
Yeah, you do.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
great, man. Thanks for sharing that. That's really cool.
I love that.
And Tim.
Oh, bring it on. I've got 5 for you.
Wow.
Ready? Here we go.
Oh, yeah, run them all down.
I'm running them.
Why you should rate us on iTunes. Let us have it.
Now we know what he was doing during all that Destiny talk.
I know.
That's right, baby. Come on. I pay attention. Rate us on iTunes so Disney can continue Night of Joy for another 25 years.
There you go.
Rate us on iTunes so your character in Destiny has a voice.
There you go.
Rate us on iTunes so, spoiler alert, rate us on iTunes so you can get your 5-star review on.
Nice.
And rate us on iTunes so edible underwear. There you go.
Wow.
I like it. Well, let's get into some questions.
Email. Let's start there. You can email us at mailbag@marriedtothegames or edibleunderwear@marriedtothegames.com.
Oh my God,
Mark,
don't do it at edible underwear.
It ain't going anywhere.
Golly.
That we know
it ain't
of.
going to, it's just going to go right to mailbag, so it's perfect. Mark 2. This weekend, I realized that recently I haven't spent much time listening to a band or artist that I've never heard before. So I'd like each of you to recommend an album that you don't think that many people heard, but everyone should listen to at least once. Thanks, guys.
Ooh,
Wow.
That is great.
that's a good question.
Oh, man.
What was that one?
So artist and album, right?
Just, yeah. Well, it would be one and the
it would
same.
need to be that, wouldn't it? I would say "Details" by Frou Frou.
Okay.
FROU is the name of the band.
Okay.
Two words. FROU. The album's called "Details." I haven't listened to it in a very, very long time.
Wow.
So don't hold it against me if it's terrible. But I loved that CD. I used to play it on repeat.
Nice.
You know anything about that, Ed?
No, never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Well, look at that. Chris McCracken.
The artist is Brand Van 3000, and the album is Glee.
Bread Fan 3000.
Bread Fan.
BRANVAN 3000.
Van.
Yes.
There you
Glee.
go. What kind of music is it?
It's a little of everything in a way, if that makes any sense.
Like reggae?
They have some of that in there.
Like trip hop?
They got some of that in there. They got rock music
Like
in there.
Exotica?
They do have a little bit of that.
Like EDM?
I don't know about that.
Come on.
I just wanted to keep going until they didn't have it in the bucket.
There it
I'm
is,
telling you, it's good stuff. You need to check it out. Came out
How
in
did you find out
97.
about
There
it?
you go.
I was in high school, and a friend of mine got a brand new car and was like, "Oh, I'm gonna take my buddies out," because it was a convertible. And we went driving through Dallas, and a buddy of mine was like, "I just got this new CD," and he popped it in, and we just drove through all over the city that night, listening to the whole entire album, and it's just always imprinted in my head. I love that album.
Wow.
Which one was
Glee.
it? Glee.
Yep, it's their first one. There's two versions. There's a United States version and a Canadian version. They're almost the same, just slight variances. But either one that you find is good, and they're both on Spotify if that's your thing.
Yep.
Nice.
Sweet. Tim Router?
Man, that's a tough one. Two artists are coming up. One, anything by the Brand New Heavies. If you ever have not heard of them, they're just this amazing like funk soulish band that I think they're British too, actually, and they're just really amazing. And I used to listen to their records. In fact, when the store first opened, we would blast Brand New Heavies all the time because it's just good feel good music, good groove music. And then also Sade's Love Deluxe, man. That's probably one of the greatest. Just it's a good T-Pain. The T-Pain remix is just amazing. And
That's awesome.
Man, yeah, Sade is she's pretty incredible.
quiet storm.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like good, like chill music. So
Yeah, it is.
yeah, it's all good.
Ed? Dido?
Close. It's an artist named Arch Nemesis,
Hey!
It's not anywhere to be found anymore.
except on Amazon.com.
They burned all the CDs.
Doggone it.
They burned them all because it was too provocative.
I know, right? Actually, it's probably the most mainstream of all the answers, I guess. It's by Ryan Adams, and it's his album 1989, where he covered Taylor Swift's entire 1989 album.
What?
Oh, I heard that was amazing.
And it's really good because it's most of the songs are it's the exact same lyrics and everything, but if you would just put it on, it would take you a while to realize this is Taylor Swift. It's really, really well done.
That's really
Really?
cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
What an interesting idea.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
really cool.
That's awesome.
Ryan Adams.
Ryan Adams.
Ryan Adams.
Nice. Good question.
All right,
Yeah.
I know we're getting short on time, so we're gonna go pretty quickly. Over on the Discord, Papa Gamer. So we're moving. Builders broke ground last week and seem to be moving fast. We're scheduled to move into our home mid-February. Since you all have recently or currently relocated or built homes, what are a few things you wish you knew ahead of time or that you think are super important to ask for first-time builders and homeowners? A lot, actually. Don't ever.
I was about to say.
I would say this: don't ever assume anything. Ask the question, like even if you think it's stupid. Like, will there?
That's right.
Yeah, like,
Be
are you
hardware
gonna round
floors
the
included?
corners?
Like,
Are you
yes.
gonna
Are
do
you
it?
gonna round the corners? Are you gonna? Like, honestly, all of that stuff makes a huge difference. So definitely ask questions, even if you think they're stupid, because don't ever assume anything. Because the builder has a certain way of doing things, and if you aren't on the same page with it, you're going to be surprised, and maybe they'll do it over for you or not. But we'll see.
That's a great answer.
Yep. Don't ever assume anything. And honestly, the more you can go back to the house, like we go every day, like try and go there every day. The first part of it, because they're putting the footings in and all that stuff isn't that big of a deal. But when it comes to framing, make sure all the framing is correct, because it's a lot harder to move a room around or to change things around when all the drywall's up versus when it's in the framing stage.
There you go.
That's my 2 cents, because I'm just going through it.
Yeah, Chris, you got anything to add? That was a good answer.
Yeah, I mean, I've never built a home, so I definitely have nothing there. But I like the don't take anything for granted or don't assume anything. Yeah, because that was something that going in, like I just assumed, like, oh, they're gonna just come pick up my trash. It's like, no, you gotta get that set up. It's not like a neighborhood thing. You gotta that's with the city. You gotta make sure that's a thing you signed up for.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
Right.
good.
And just take notes on all the meetings with the builders that you might have, because you should have like an initial meeting to go through everything. They should have site plans and everything for you to look at and just go through everything. And you typically have to initial them anyway, and that's just for their protection. But just make sure. But congratulations, man! That's awesome. It's good. It's stressful, but it's good. It's all going to be good in the end.
There you go.
Fluxel, if you were Ed, sorry, go ahead. Do you have anything to add?
Ask if they can build secret passages.
Oh, yes.
Ooh,
I like
yeah.
that.
You want a room behind the clock.
Yes.
I like that too.
I like that. All right, Fluxel, if you were required to act out a single role in a movie and got points for every correct line of dialogue and action, what movie and role would give you the highest score? I may have gotten the idea for this one from a recently read book.
Shoot. Unfortunately, it's probably me playing Dave Chappelle during him doing Killing Them Softly, his first stand-up special.
Awesome, yes.
I know some of those bits pretty good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Ed, I know you got a good one.
Probably, you know what? I was going to say Three Amigos, but then you started talking, Gabe, and I thought for sure you were going to say a kid's movie, and then it made me want to say Aladdin, because I could probably do that one as well.
See, I don't know if I could do the words to Aladdin, but I could definitely do the songs.
Right. That's true.
So,
That's true.
I could
Good point.
do A Whole New World, or the Genie song. I could do those things without messing up.
Yeah.
Along with the song. If you put on an instrumental, I might get a little shaky.
Yeah.
Right.
Chris?
I'm going to say...
Wait, so Ed, are you going to say Three Amigos?
I'm going to say Three Amigos then, yeah.
Oh, that's perfect.
There you go.
I'm going to say
ahead,
pretty much any character in the Fellowship of the Ring. I could just...
Ooh. Really?
Of the main,
Yeah, boy.
of the nine, or the main Fellowship. Not any character in the entire thing, but the main characters. I could do
Wow.
almost any role. I would know a lot of the lines. And then the other one would maybe be Nicolas Cage's role in the remake of Gone in 60 Seconds, because I know that movie inside and out.
Really? That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I've seen it so
good
many
movie.
times.
That is awesome.
That's
Good
hilarious.
movie. I can't be mad at that. Tim?
I mean, I would know most of the Star Wars movies, the original three.
The lines back to back?
Yeah, pretty close. I could do pretty well. But in any Disney princess movie, because I've heard them all in the car without seeing them, and I pretty much just go right along with the movie as Piper's watching it. So
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
that's just dad life.
What's the movie of choice right now that Piper's watching over and over?
She's loving Lego Batman, which I love too. So like, I just love hearing his voice. It's just
Will
perfect.
Arnett.
Yeah, Will Arnett
Yeah.
is hilarious, and he's just so funny. And we've been doing a lot of Barbara when she comes in the scene. It's just so funny. It's just great.
Nice.
He's just talking in Barbara, and then I just died in your. Oh, it's so funny. And
I need to see that one. We haven't seen it yet.
We've been going, I don't want to do that a lot too.
Nice.
So it's just
That's funny.
so funny. It's great.
Ours is Moana right now.
Oh yeah, of course.
Right.
Of course.
Over and over again.
Of course.
Sharkhead.
Exactly.
Great question. Mark Boucher, this may have been asked before, but what's the longest you've gone without gaming? Tim, I know you were a late bloomer, so your time before your gaming started doesn't count. Okay.
Probably. I would say somewhere going into the PS3 era, because I didn't get the PS3 right away. I was a late adopter of the PS3.
Same.
So there's got to be some time in there between PS2, PS3, because there were so many games for the PS2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was like a crazy amount of video games for that system. And so I feel like I was held over, and then I got on it really late. So somewhere in there probably. Ed?
Yeah, I mean, I went from the PS2 to the Wii, but I didn't stop gaming in between, if that makes it. I was still playing DDR up until the time we got the Wii, so whatever that
Nice.
means. Yeah.
I like it. Chris?
I think I've talked about this before, but I kind of stopped playing games around 2002, 2003, and I didn't pick it back up till about 2009. So
Nice.
Wow. There you go, Tim.
Since I started in 2011, really the longest stint I haven't played a game is probably about a month and a half to 2 months. But I've usually tried to do something. Even when I was in my slump a few months ago and just couldn't get into a game, I was still playing something. I was playing Rocket League a lot.
Right.
So it's just like, but it's so different. I think when you're older, it's just it's a part of me now. Like I get up, I play a little bit, regardless of what it is. Like if it, especially if it's a game I'm into, I'll get up even earlier to play a little bit more of it. But I just love it so much. And usually what happens is it's work, or I'll be moving soon, so I probably won't be able to game a whole lot. And but it's been probably about a month and a half that is the longest that I haven't been able to.
There you go.
Yep.
Good question.
Great.
Yeah.
Moving on to Facebook. Robert Darrell Good Jr. Do you have a favorite game developer? I have a hard time picking just one, so I'll understand if you mention 2 or 3. I would have to go with 343 Industries, BioWare, and Bethesda.
Yeah, exactly.
Bethesda.
Yep.
Plenty of great games come from other studios, but those are the ones whose work I gravitate to the most. Honorable mention goes to the late, great Irrational Games, because I never even played their games, but I still love them. I spent hours just watching my wife play all the BioShock games. That's very cool. I mean, mine. Mine is Naughty Dog, and honorable mention will be Ubisoft, just because those are the games I play the most from those developers. But Naughty Dog is top notch for me.
Unfortunately, probably my favorite developer is Nintendo.
Yeah.
why is that
Like when I
unfortunate?
think of
That's not unfortunate. Be proud, my friend.
well, I'm just saying because it feels like to me it feels like oh really Nintendo,
No,
but
man.
like the memories I have of Mario and Mario Kart and Mario Party, like I forget what I was looking at the other day, but I had it felt like I had 3 Mario things going at once. Like my kids were playing Mario Run or Run. I don't even remember what that app is called. Run Mario, whatever the freak.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then I had my Switch out or something like that. And then something else I felt like Nintendo was happening. So I'd have to say Nintendo. They've made the longest lasting stuff, I feel like. Like even when it comes to Kirby, who's newer out of the old stuff.
Yeah.
You're like, man, just I don't know if it sticks around because they just give it to you over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Chris.
Well, in the immediate, I could easily say Naughty Dog because they've made some of the most impressionable experiences on me in the last couple of years. I could also say Blizzard, even though I've only really played 2 of their properties, Hearthstone and Overwatch. I've sunk a lot of time in both of those, and they're both immaculate games. They're just done so well, and they're constantly being updated. And I love just all the attention to detail stuff, which is kind of a thing that both Naughty Dog and Blizzard have. But if we're gonna go off of favorite all time, just based on the experiences I've had and based on where my love is, I have to say Kojima Productions. Back when they were with Konami,
Of course you
and
do.
obviously now they're independent. But yeah.
Tim, did you say Naughty Dog?
Yeah, I said Naughty Dog and honorable mention to Ubisoft.
Ed?
You know what? Mine's exactly as Tim's. Naughty Dog and Ubisoft, for sure.
There you go.
That's awesome.
Good question.
Yeah.
Hi, I see Pennywise on the question picture, so I ask, what's the scariest movie you have ever seen? For me, it was Nightmare on Elm Street. I made the mistake of watching that one around the age of 8 and pretty much gave myself insomnia for years. Also, fun fact, I used to have drama class with Katie from the Paranormal Activity movies. Hey, there you go. That's cool.
Oh, look at that. She made it out.
That's right.
Scariest movie, probably Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Even though I've seen a lot of the Saw movies, I've watched all the Grudge movies, I watched the Ring movies, I watched what was the Blair Witch Project?
Mm-hmm.
That was scary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But probably Exorcism of Emily Rose for me was probably the scariest.
Nice.
Chris?
I don't really watch a ton of scary stuff. I mean, I've seen The Ring and some other ones like that. I've never seen any of the Exorcist stuff. But the one that I remember, the very end, like sticking with me the most and like just creeping me out, and even when I went back and thought about it at the time, anyways, was the Blair Witch. When I saw that in theaters and that ending, the whole. Which, granted, like nowadays, that found footage stuff is everywhere, and you look at Blair Witch now, it seems ridiculously stupid and dated. But at the time, it was crazy. And there for a short while when it first came out, people didn't know if it was real or not. In terms of like, are those people actors or are they not? Not
exactly.
Like, do you believe in ghosts
I remember their website. Their website was fantastic because it stuck with the theme, and they like had all this backstory and everything. I remember going to that site, being like, "Man, is this real? I don't know."
Yeah, because the internet was
totally played it up.
Yeah, the internet was obviously there, but there wasn't. You didn't really know like, oh, I can just search for anything. That really wasn't a thing that people knew to go and do. And I remember the first time that I realized that, because I was kind of thinking, I was like, they've got to be actors, right? And then when I finally found out, it's because they like walked out on stage on like an MTV movie award or something like that. I was like, well, they're actors, of course. I had to be scared of all those hands and the guy standing in the corner. That wasn't scary.
Oh, it's crazy, man. Crazy.
That joke was scary.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with Chris. I think for me, it's Blair Witch Project.
Ooh, nice.
Look at that.
Mine's going to be 7 with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman. Because it's just...
I like that movie.
It freaked me out because it's definitely something that could be done like in modern day. Like you could have somebody like that who's that crazy. And that was one that was just like, whew, it was intense. It's a really good movie too. It's just super well done.
Agreed.
Wicked smart.
That's right. Wicked smart. Let's see. Brendan Myers, what word makes you cringe when you hear it said wrong? Mine is Reese's. It needs to be said like the possession of Reese.
How else do you say it?
Reese's?
Reese's.
I think some people say Reese's.
I always say Reese's Pieces no matter what it is, just because I think it's funny.
I don't know how you would say it. I heard a rhyme a long time ago, and it's jacked me up, and it makes me cringe now, even though I don't think I'm correct. But I forget who it was, but it was like a friend of Dr. Seuss's that was writing about him, and he rhymed his name to help you pronunciate it, but he rhymed it with like noise. So saying like it was supposed to be really soice.
Oh yeah, that's right. I think I remember hearing
weird.
That. So I think it's actually Dr. Seuss. And so now when I hear Seuss, I'm like, dang, do we have it that wrong? Or am I wrong in thinking that I think that I had it right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not sure I don't know what it is, but it makes me cringe regardless.
Interesting.
Thinking that we've had it wrong for this life. That and Berenstain Bears.
Right. Yes.
Yes.
Because it's the Berenstain Bears. And so now that I know that as an older adult, I'm like, every time I hear Berenstain Bears, I'm like, it's Berenstain. Right? Or is it Berenstein? I forget now. I don't even know.
I don't know.
I think Stain.
Yeah, Bernstein. I thought it was Bernstein Bears.
It's the Berenstain Bears.
Yeah.
Berenstain.
It'll always be Berenstein.
That's the thing, is you grow up thinking it was Berenstein, and then you look at it and you're like, oh, it's Berenstain.
You're like, wait, there's an A there.
Yeah.
Why did I say it the other way? Yeah. Router?
Oh, man, I'm trying to think of one.
Chris?
I don't really have anything. I will say back in the day, it used to bother me like to no end when people would add an S on a word that didn't belong there, like saying, I'm going down to Kroger's or something like that, or I'm going to the Walmart's.
Yeah.
But then at some point, like it happened so much that I just like, oh, whatever. And now I say it to be goofy and it doesn't really bother me.
I'm going with that one too, Chris, because my in-laws say that too. We're going to go to Costco's and Best Buy's. I'm like, funny. Really? You're going to go to Best Buy's? Because they have multiple buys? Okay. Yeah, that's fun. It is fun for that one. Add in the old S. That's a good one. All right, we got a few more over on Twitter. Lucas Hansen.
Ed, did you have one?
Oh, sorry, Ed.
Yankovic.
It's not Yankovic instead of Yankovic?
No, it is Yankovic, but I hear Yankovic a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, weird. I was about to say, I was like, oh, crap, I've been saying it wrong this whole time.
iTunes actually spelled it Yankovic in an ad recently.
Huh.
Really?
No way.
It was like, there's no H in there.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, that's funny. Interesting. All right, moving on to Twitter, Lucas Hamswisher. It's the day after remembering a tragic event in U.S. history, so could you share where you were and what you were doing when it happened? Man,
I still live with my mom. I was in bed when the first tower, I don't think I saw live the second tower get hit. I think both towers had been hit, and she came in my room screaming, "We're under attack," which, let's not do that to our kids.
Right.
Unless, like, we as a family are under attack.
Right. Unless they are barreling down the door right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. That's hilarious.
Unless you're being swatted.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
So she ran in the room screaming, "We're under attack, we're under attack." And like as she was turning my television on.
Wow.
So, Chris, you remember where you were
Yeah,
at?
I was at work. I was working at a retail graphics company, like where we printed stuff and did vinyl and all these other different. We had a room where they did like molding and all this kind of crazy stuff. And I was in the vinyl room at the time helping some people out, and we just had a radio going. And it actually was just me and one other person, and the other person didn't speak English, so I don't know that they even know us. And I remember when I heard it on the radio that a plane had hit, I was like, oh my gosh. I'm still working, but I'm like listening because I was like, this is crazy. And then by the time they mentioned the second one, and then I just stopped working. I just listened to the radio the rest of the day. And then I think, if I remember right, they let us out early that day because that company also, like we would have people that would fly them around the country to install things and whatnot. And so there was all this concern about like, oh my gosh, because they started grounding the planes. And that was one of, I mean, outside of everything, obviously, but that was also one of the craziest things because I live, pretty close to a major airport, DFW, and there's always planes in the sky. And to be driving home and then be outside and looking, and you don't hear a plane, you don't see a plane, nothing.
Yeah.
That was really unreal.
Yeah, I bet.
Yep.
Ed?
I was working at the radio station in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and was actually in the middle of recording an interview with the band down here, and someone broke in.
Oh, wow.
And it's kind of the same as you, Gabe, was just screaming, "We're under attack."
Yeah, well, so what'd you guys do with the interview?
Well, it's funny because there weren't podcasts then, but I recorded interviews and put them up on the internet, so it was kind of like pre-podcast. So I was able to save it just because I was recording it. It wasn't live on the air.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tim?
I was in the shower at the time, and then Lauren was like, "Hey, babe, you got to come see this." And so I quickly got out, and I'm in my towel watching the second plane hit the tower. And then the first thing we did was call Lauren's parents, but we couldn't get through. The weird thing about that up in Jersey was nobody could communicate between each other in New Jersey. So my mother-in-law had to call us, and then we could call my father-in-law, so those two could talk. Like we were basically being messengers for them because nobody could the cell phone towers were kind of shut down or overloaded, and so it was really weird. They had to call us, and we had to relay a message to like dad or mom, and dad was down at the George Washington Bridge at the time, and he's a volunteer fireman, and so they were on standby at the GW Bridge just waiting for Port Authority and the New York Fire Department for any orders that they wanted. But they held at the bridge and basically closed the bridge down at the time.
Yeah, and remember, because texting wasn't really a thing yet.
No, not at all. No.
I mean, you had two-way pagers and stuff like that, but, it wasn't like it wasn't as easy to just text somebody and be like, "Hey, you all right?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's crazy.
Gracious.
A really interesting day that day, that's for sure.
Yeah. That was
tragic, and just incredible. It was weird. Mm-hmm. All right, final question. Speaking of tragedy, Eric Green at The Art of Bacon. What is the most tragic thing to happen to you that involved? Let's lighten this up. What's the most tragic thing to happen to you that involved gaming? Example: lost game save, broke your console, traded in games as a kid.
Oh,
what is it?
For me, I had two PS3s, YOLO on me, yellow light of death.
Oh no.
Or what did I call it back then? Oh Lord.
Oh Lord.
On me when I got Last of Us. And so
during Last of Us?
To start it. So like I tried to start The Last of Us and started playing it, and yellow light of death. And I was like, wait. And then I borrowed another PS3, and that one yellow light of death on me.
Wow.
No.
And so that was tragic and awful because I really wanted to
Wow.
play The Last of Us. Chris?
The most tragic thing that happened to me, I was up late. It was probably 11:30 or 12 maybe in my room. My brother and I think our cousin was with us. They were in my room. They were over doing something different. I was playing PS1 Gran Turismo, and I was doing an endurance race, and I was on the last lap of about 45 minutes, maybe close to an hour, and the PS1 just shut off. And I was in the lead. And I lost my mind.
My gosh.
That's horrible.
Yeah, I lost it there.
Did you use all the words?
No, I didn't use a lot of words, but I was loud, and my mom woke up and came up and got onto me.
That's so funny. Yeah.
That's funny. Ed?
We got a Wii U.
Oh,
said.
my gosh. Ed.
Well done.
Just trying to lighten the mood.
Well done,
gosh.
sir. Well done.
I thought your audio
Well
cut out.
done.
I was like, I get it.
Oh,
No, that was the
my
end of the story.
Gosh.
Well played, sir. Well played.
That's funny. Tim?
Yeah, mine was Telltale Walking Dead season 1. There was a corrupt file after I finished something, and so I had to start all over again. Which, like I think I mentioned this before, but I did not mind. I went ahead and started it over, and still had a great time with it.
That is so funny. We got a Wii U.
Wii U. Well played. Thank you, everybody, for the questions. That was awesome.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Thank you for the last minute too, because we were like, oh yeah, we got to do a day early, and so you guys came through.
Yeah, you guys did.
Right?
Question of the week for you guys. It is fall. Fall is upon us.
Yes.
Thank you, Jesus.
Favorite time of
Yes.
year.
And so with fall comes television. All your favorite TV shows are coming back. So what are you watching this fall? I know a lot of people are going to say Arrow. I'm not watching it.
Nah.
Just want to go ahead and throw that out there.
Me neither.
But what are you guys watching this fall? Chris?
Football.
Football.
Yeah, buddy.
Honestly, that's probably it. I mean, there's something else thrown in there, but there's not a show. I'm like, oh, I can't wait because Bloody Blah comes back.
Yeah. Ed?
I don't really know.
There's a couple new shows that I'm interested in. The Deuce, The Orville, which is the Seth MacFarlane kind of a Star Trek.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I saw
that
some
looks
stuff about that.
interesting.
Oh, yeah, huh?
There's that Ghosted show with Adam Scott and Craig Robinson that looks interesting. I want to check out. And then the return of Curb and Stranger Things. I'm looking forward to.
Curb Your Enthusiasm's coming back?
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
How many seasons is that now?
Isn't
I
it
don't
like
know,
8,
80
isn't
something?
it, or something?
80.
It's been, I don't know what it is. It's quite a few, but they're so spread out. It's hard to keep track.
I know. I wonder if it's going to outlast
That show.
Seinfeld.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
It could.
We'll see.
It's probably close to 10 if it's not there yet.
When people say lightning doesn't strike twice, you got to go talk to your old boy, Larry David.
Talk to
exactly.
LD.
Yeah, he knows all about it. Tim?
Football, I'm with you on that one, Chris, definitely. But we haven't been able to stay on a lot of our shows just because of now with school and everything. So I know I'm kind of curious about Will and Grace because I used to love that show.
Oh, yeah, Jenny's, yeah.
I hope they don't screw that one up, but I have a feeling it's just not going to be as good as it was before. But
They usually come back and it seems like they're more foul shows when they bring them back.
It's
And you're
just
like,
going to get
oh,
more
man.
it's not raunchy. I think foul's probably the right word, but I just don't want them to do that. Keep the way it was.
Yeah.
Because it the innuendo behind everything makes it
funnier,
more funny
yeah.
than just saying it. And then Modern Family, of course, is always a classic that we watch. And on Netflix for me, it just came out, Narcos season 3.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll be watching that. That show is awesome. So if you ever want to get your drug cartel on, watch Narcos. It's really good. It's
Nice.
It's pretty fast. It's pretty fascinating.
There you go.
That's it.
I'd have to say mine is obviously football. Yes, I don't want to not say that because I freaking love football. But This Is Us. Me and Jenny really like.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I need to get into that.
Yeah, I was supposed to watch season 1, and I haven't been able to do that. Crap.
So excited
That's
about
your
that.
homework, Chris.
Yeah,
No.
exactly. That's a good show.
When does that start
show.
back up?
I
This
don't know.
month or next month?
Soon.
Okay.
We DVR
Yeah.
it, so
Yeah.
watch it when we can.
Yeah, I want to watch that.
But that's a good one. Let us know what you guys watching this fall. We'd love to hear it. Arrow, and more Arrow. We know. But what else?
We know the routine.
We do listen to you.
Yes, we've done this
We
question.
just don't listen.
We listen to you. We just don't watch.
We
That's
hear
what
you.
do.
We
Right.
don't listen.
There we go. Yeah.
Right, there you go.
Even though I have other people tell me that it's really good.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing.
So let us know, man. Use hashtag answer MTTG, of course. And as always, I'm Gabe Patillo. That is Tim Router. That is Ed Placencia. That is Chris McCracken. And we are married to the games, and we are up out this thing. Bam!